So I had some free time and a lot of clips that I didn't know what to do with, so I more or less assembled them, and I guess I'll talk about classes along the way. He fell down. And that lady, she's dead, but she's not dead. I don't know what happened. Let's see. Mages. Mages are fun, but if you're planning to solely focus on increasing your magic, you're gonna want to also focus on restoration and alteration. I'll say restoration is a given for any class, just because the ability to heal yourself when you're out of potions is handy, and alteration is a mage's best friend essentially, especially if you're not gonna rely on enchanting armor to increase your health or any other skills, then you're gonna want the defensive spells provided to you by using alteration. Or if you don't feel like making a battle mage, that's also another possibility. Battle mages, you'll have less magic, but you'll have more health. So, yeah, I guess in a sense you could go for wearing armor, but with that, you'll have to, I suppose, to supplement that, you'll have to increase your magic through enchanting your armor. So it just depends on what you feel like doing. But I will say, I would recommend the battle mage for anyone who just likes to use magic but doesn't want too much hassle, because making a mage that's solely focused on increasing magic, you'll have a lot of magic and you won't really have to wear any magic regenerating items. But wearing Daedric armor and you only have 100 health, it doesn't help when you start leveling up to like the 50s and everything wants to have a two-handed warhammer. You'll just end up dying in one hit, more than likely. Yeah, trust me, I've been down that road. It's not fun. But then it is, because you have a lot of magic, so I guess it's a give and take. But it's up to you what you want to do with your mage. As far as attacking spells, you can go with Conjuration or Destruction. I say either or because both get the job done. It just depends on whether or not you just like using Conjuration or Destruction, but both get rid of enemies, so that's your choice also. Whee, it flies! And then you have the Thief class. I really don't know what to say about thieves. They're kinda versatile, if you will, and what I mean by that is you could always choose to be sort of the classical stealthy thief with daggers and light armor or no armor, just sneaking around and taking people out from the shadows with a bow and arrow or your daggers. Or you could be something of a stealth mage. Illusion offers that one perk where, yeah, I believe it's called quiet casting, where your spells are quiet when you cast them. So you could essentially hide in the shadows and hit enemies with your spells and they won't really know where you are. You don't get a damage bonus for doing that, but it is handy if you want to be a mage but you don't exactly want to get into too many fights. And also, you could be a thief and run around with a giant warhammer and still take people out. So, or you could even be a thief with heavy armor and sneak around and pickpocket people and everything. So I really couldn't say what's good to do with the thief. And also, I'm not even mentioning the possibilities of getting into alchemy and making potions. Potions are pretty deadly. Once you get your alchemy high enough, you can create potions of invisibility and things that can paralyze your enemies or drain their magic or health, which pretty much does all the work for you before you actually get into a confrontation if you choose to. Or you could just sneak around them and finish them off. So yeah, thief, there are many points to them. And also, let's not forget about the stealing aspect of a thief. I mean, what's a thief without thieving? And with that said, you can essentially creep around and steal things out of people's pockets. It may not seem like the most useful skill, but it comes in handy, especially if you're strapped for cash. It is kinda hard to gain gold on this game, aside from selling things that you may find off of random bandits. And also, a side goodie about being a pickpocket, there are times when you need things off of people, but you don't exactly want to kill them and they're being quite stubborn about giving it to you. So being a pickpocket kind of eliminates that problem, and it's fairly useful, I'll say. There's always something to steal off of someone, and later when you level it up, you can steal things that you can steal items that they have on them and such. You still can't steal from like merchants, but you can steal things that they have on their person that they're not using, but it's still a good skill and it's pretty fun to use. So if you don't have anything else to spend it on, you should check it out. And then there are the warriors. The obvious question, one-handed swords or two-handed swords? It really doesn't matter, it's just preference. Although two-handed swords, they deal more damage. It's trickier to find a solution to heal yourself because putting that thing up and switching to magic, it takes time. And regardless of which your choice is, you're going to have to put some points into block. One-handed, you gain access to shield bash, which is really handy. And for two-handed swords, not all of the block skills apply to them, but they make it easier to use. So regardless, you're gonna have to get that. And that right there is shield bash. It comes in handy a lot. There's really no preference for me. It's just, yeah, two-handed does more damage, and yeah, her head kind of got chopped off. And next we have archers. Archers are a fun class, despite what you may think. In Skyrim, yeah, the skill sets that they have, it makes it pretty interesting to use them, and also pretty easy as well. And I want to say, if you're going to be any type of warrior at all, you're probably going to at some point have to take out a bow if you're not going to use magic as your long range, because some monsters you really don't want to get too close to, such as dragons. I mean, yeah, dragons will eat you if you stay too close to them and your health isn't that great. So, but the perks in the marksman category, they're great. You can slow down time, get in some shots, zoom in, and if things get too close, you can always, there's sort of a bash function. You can punch things in the face with your bow and arrow, so that's always a good thing. Other than that, yeah, there's not too much to say about being an archer. It's pretty self-explanatory, but the skills do most of the talking, I want to say. And the fact that your arrows have a chance to paralyze opponents, that makes things a lot more, it makes things easier. Not easier in the sense of it being cheap, it's just there's always that problem with being an archer. If you're up against a fast opponent or an extremely aggressive opponent that doesn't like to get staggered, that chance to paralyze them comes in handy. So while it doesn't work on everything, it's still pretty cool in my book. Yeah, I'd rather have a chance to paralyze a bear that's chasing me than not have it. because bears are not nice. But archery, if you like to have combat but you don't necessarily like to be close, it's your best bet. That being said, this game is a great game. If you haven't picked it up already, you should. I don't know why you haven't. You're just being yeah, a strange person. You should go to the store and buy it now, because it's great. You wanna know why it's great? Because this. Oh yeah. And that was just so cool. But regardless, I guess this is just my take on the classes out of the game. You don't have to take me serious. I'm not an expert, but hopefully I helped out someone, I guess. And ultimately the choice is up to you. So do what you please. And I'm going to jump off a building right now. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. So totally gonna do it. Is he gonna die? Psych. Haha. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it.